In the dead of night, Captain Elena Voss pilots a Gulfstream G650 through the perilous skies over the Atlantic, her mission shrouded in secrecy. Her passenger, Dr. Amara Khan, holds a quantum encryption key that could unlock the world's digital systems or plunge it into chaos. When F-22 Raptors intercept her at 30,000 feet, Elena faces a deadly showdown, outmatched but undaunted. This is a relentless tale of courage, betrayal, and survival where every maneuver could be her last, and the truth is a weapon sharper than any missile. Silent Stories crafts electrifying narratives of action, suspense, and raw human spirit. From heart-stopping chases to unspoken loyalties, we uncover the heroes who rise in the quiet moments. Subscribe and soar into stories that grip your heart and hold you breathless. The Atlantic was a vast, black mirror beneath the Gulfstream G650, its surface swallowing the faint shimmer of moonlight. At 30,000 feet, Captain Elena Voss gripped the yoke, her green eyes locked on the cockpit's glowing instruments. A former RAF test pilot, she'd flown through storms and near misses. But tonight's mission carried a weight she'd never felt before. The air was thick with tension, the kind that preceded disaster. Her headset crackled, and a voice, American, sharp, and unyielding, cut through the silence. Unidentified aircraft, this is Reaper 1. You're in restricted airspace. Identify or be engaged. Elena's pulse spiked, but her hands stayed steady. She glanced at the radar, where two blips pulsed like predators, F-22 Raptors, stealth fighters so advanced they were nearly invisible. Reaper 1, this is Sierra November 1, she said, voice calm. Civilian aircraft, private flight plan. I have clearance. Pause, heavy with intent, followed. Clearance invalid, Reaper 1 replied. Divert to heading 270, descend to 15,000 feet. Now. Elena's jaw tightened. Behind the cockpit door, in the plush cabin, sat Dr. Amara Khan, a woman whose name could stop hearts or start wars. Her quantum encryption research was a key to every secure system on Earth, banks, militaries, governments. Elena's orders were simple: get Amara to Washington, D.C. undetected. Failure wasn't an option. The radio crackled again. Sierra November 1, comply or we will fire. Elena's mind raced. She muted her mic and turned to her co-pilot, Marcus Tate, a scarred ex-Navy pilot with eyes that had seen too much. Options? She asked. Marcus stared at the radar. F-22s. We can't outrun them. Talk or die. Elena unmuted the mic. Reaper 1. My passenger is Dr. Amara Khan. Verify with CENTCOM before you act. The silence that followed was electric, charged with shock. Amara's name was a legend, a defector, a genius, a target. Her work could rewrite global power, and someone wanted it silenced. Stand by, Reaper 1 said, uncertainty creeping into the voice. The Raptors held position, their blips unmoving on the radar. Elena's grip on the yoke tightened, her instincts screaming. This wasn't over. 2 days earlier, Elena had been in her London flat, the city's pulse dulled by rain. The RAF was a bitter memory. A prototype crash she didn't cause, a tribunal that didn't listen, a career lost. Now she flew charters for the wealthy, her dreams of the sky grounded in routine. A midnight call changed everything. A clipped British voice offered a job. 1 flight, 1 passenger, a payout to erase her debts. The catch? No questions. The name? Dr. Amara Khan. In a rain-soaked hangar, a man in a suit handed her a folder. Don't stop. Don't deviate. Don't trust anyone, he'd said. Amara's research, a quantum key to global systems, made her a target for nations, corporations, and shadows. Elena was her shield, whether she liked it or not. The Gulfstream's cabin was a cocoon of luxury, a stark contrast to the cockpit's tension. Amara Khan sat by a window, her dark eyes fixed on the horizon. Barely 40, she radiated a quiet intensity, her composure unshaken despite the stakes. Captain, she said via intercom, her voice steady, we cannot be stopped. Elena banked the jet hard, engines roaring to life. Reaper 1, we're continuing to our destination, she said into the radio. Divert or be engaged. Reaper 1 snapped, the threat no longer veiled. Marcus checked the radar, his face grim. They'll eat us alive. Elena's mind churned. Find me a heading, Marcus. Somewhere we can disappear. He punched coordinates into the NAV system. Greenland. Nuke airstrip. Remote with fuel. It was a gamble far from DC, but it might buy them time. Elena dove into a storm brewing north, clouds swallowing the jet. Lightning flashed, turbulence rattling the fuselage as she pushed the Gulf Stream to its limits. Mach 0.925, faster than most civilian jets, but no match for Raptors. The jet shuddered, rain lashing the windshield as they plunged deeper into the storm. A new voice crackled through the headset. Female, British, calm. Sierra November 1, this is Control. Heading 340, climb to 35,000 feet. Assets await. Elena's eyes narrowed. Control, the code name from the hangar. Who is this? She demanded. No time, the voice replied. Fly. Elena hesitated, then adjusted course, the jet climbing through the chaos. Marcus shot her a look. Trap? Maybe, she said. But we're out of options. Amara's voice came again. I trust you, Captain. The storm was her ally, scrambling the Raptor's radar. Elena broke through the clouds into clear sky, stars glittering above. The Raptor's blips flickered, then faded. For now they were gone. Amara Khan was no ordinary passenger. Born in Lahore, she'd risen through global science, her quantum encryption work earning her accolades and enemies. Her lab in Islamabad was raided, forcing her to flee with a single hard drive, her research a digital skeleton key. She was hunted by those who'd control it and those who'd destroy it. Elena, scarred by her own past, was her last line of defense. The RAF crash, a faulty prototype, not her fault, had cost Elena her wings, her pride, her purpose. Now, at 30,000 feet, she was fighting for redemption as much as survival. The fuel gauge ticked lower, nuke their only hope. Elena's hands stayed steady, her training a lifeline in the chaos. Nuke's airstrip emerged through the dawn, a thin strip of concrete amid ice and rock. Elena brought the jet in low, the wind battering the fuselage. The landing was rough, tires screeching, but she taxied to a hangar where a lone figure waited, a tall woman, hooded, her face obscured. Control? Amara unbuckled, her expression unreadable. We part here, Captain, she said, stepping off the jet. Good luck, Elena replied, exhaustion crashing over her like a wave. Marcus clapped her shoulder. Nice flying, boss. She didn't respond, her eyes on Amara as she vanished with the woman into the Greenland dawn. The silence was deafening, but Elena knew it wouldn't last. A week later, Elena sat in a London cafe, the city's hum a distant comfort. A burner phone buzzed with a single message, thank you. Stay sharp. Control. She crushed it under her heel, the sky outside heavy with secrets. Amara was safe, her research secured, according to whispers in intelligence forums. But Elena felt the weight of unseen eyes, the sense that this was only the beginning. Her dreams were haunted by the roar of jets, Amara's calm gaze, and the Raptor's ghostly blips. The RAF crash had taken her career, but this flight had taken her peace. She scoured encrypted sites, finding fragments of Amara's story, a quantum key, a digital Pandora's box. Elena was marked now, a pawn in a game she didn't fully understand. A new call came, the voicemail, unfamiliar. Captain Voss, we need to talk. You know too much. Elena's heart raced. Who is this? Someone who needs you, the voice said, then hung up. The meeting was set for an East London pub, dim and smoky, the kind of place where secrets thrived. The man, gray suit, gray eyes, spoke softly. Amara's safe, but her research is loose. We need you again. Elena leaned back, her pulse steady despite the stakes. Why me? You outflew F-22s, he said, a faint smile on his lips. We need that. She nodded, the sky calling her back. Another mission, another secret. The game was far from over. Elena returned to her flat, the city alive below. She packed a bag, her pilot's instincts rekindled. An encrypted email arrived, coordinates, a flight plan, a destination, a Reykjavik. No details, just a directive, be ready. The Citation X waited at Reykjavik's airport, its sleek frame glinting in the sleet. Faster than the Gulf Stream, it was built for speed, not comfort. Marcus was back, his scar a grim reminder of their last flight. Déjà vu, he muttered, settling into the co-pilot's seat. Not quite, Elena said. This time, we're hunting. The mission was to retrieve a data drive, a fragment of Amara's research stolen by a rogue operative. The client, codenamed Gray, had been vague, get it to London. No stops. Elena took off, the citation climbing through Iceland's turbulent skies, her senses sharp. At 40,000 feet, the radar pinged. Not F-22s this time, Eurofighter Typhoons, NATO's other predators. Sierra Tango 1, identify. A British voice demanded, clipped and cold. Elena's blood ran cold. Sierra Tango 1, civilian flight. Clearance filed. Negative. Divert to Shannon, Ireland. Now. Marcus swore under his breath. They know. Elena banked hard, the citation's engine screaming. The Typhoons matched her, their pilots relentless. A warning shot streaked past, a tracer illuminating the night. Control? Elena hissed into the radio. We're compromised. The familiar British voice replied, calm as ever. Hold course. Reinforcements inbound. Elena pushed the jet into a dive, clouds swallowing them. But the Typhoons were too close, too fast. Minutes later, a new blip appeared. A lone aircraft, unmarked, moving like a hawk. Sierra Tango 1, this is Sparrow. Follow my lead. The voice was male, accented, maybe Eastern European. Elena hesitated, then followed. Sparrow's jet, a modified MiG-29, danced through the clouds, drawing the Typhoon's fire. Elena used the distraction, pushing the citation to its limits, heading for a remote Scottish airstrip Gray had mentioned as a fallback. Sparrow's voice crackled again. You're clear. Get to ground. Who are you? Elena asked, her voice tight. A friend, he said, then went silent. The Typhoons broke off, their radar signatures fading. Elena exhaled, but her instincts screamed, trust no one. The Scottish airstrip was a relic, an overgrown RAF base lost to time. Elena landed, the citation skidding on wet tarmac. A woman waited, not control, but someone new, her face sharp and unreadable. The drive, she said, hand outstretched. Elena handed it over, her gut twisting. Who's this going to? People who'll keep it safe, the woman said, vanishing into the mist. Marcus leaned close. You trust her? Not even a little, Elena replied, her mind racing. Back in London, she traced the drive's path through encrypted networks. It hadn't reached Gray's allies, it was with Nexus Corp, a private firm rumored to trade in secrets. Elena's stomach churned. She'd been played. She confronted Gray in a Soho alley, the city's pulse a dull roar. You used me, she snapped, her voice low. Gray's gray eyes were cold. You delivered. The drive's safe. Safe for who? She countered, stepping closer. He smiled, unapologetic. Stay out of it, Captain. For your own good. Elena's fists clenched, but she walked away. Nexus was the real enemy now. She hacked their servers, finding traces of Amara's key and auctioned to the highest bidder. China, Russia, private players. Her flight had saved Amara, but the research was a wildfire spreading unchecked. Elena contacted Control, her only ally. Nexus has the drive. We need to stop them. The voice, Lila, ex-MI6, driven by guilt over Amara's near capture, was grim. Meet me in Berlin. We'll end this. Berlin was a city of shadows, its streets alive with secrets. Elena met Lila in a dimly lit bar, her face lined with resolve. They planned a heist. Nexus's headquarters, a fortress of glass and steel, held the drive. The infiltration was chaos, alarms blaring, guards shouting, a sniper's bullet grazing Elena's shoulder. They retrieved the drive, but Nexus's CEO, Varkes, cornered them in a server room, his cold eyes gleaming. You can't stop progress, he said, gun raised. Elena smirked, adrenaline surging. Watch me. She and Lila fought their way out, Varkes' mercenaries on their heels. They stole a helicopter, flying low over the Baltic, drones in pursuit. Sparrow reappeared, his MiG shielding them. You owe me, he crackled over the radio. Name your price, Elena replied. Survive, he said, then vanished into the night. The Swedish safe house was a cabin in the woods guarded by Lila's allies. Amara was there, her eyes haunted but alive. You kept your promise, she told Elena, taking the drive. Wasn't easy, Elena said, her shoulder throbbing. Amara's fingers trembled. This can't fall into the wrong hands again. Lila nodded. We're destroying it. At dawn, they burned the drive, its data reduced to ash. Amara wept, relief and loss intertwined. Elena felt the weight lift, but the cost lingered, her trust, her peace, her anonymity. Lila offered a new identity. You're a ghost now. Start over. Elena shook her head. I'm done running. Back in London, she stood on her balcony, the city alive below. A burner phone buzzed. New job. You in? Sparrow. She smiled, the sky calling. Elena Voss was a pilot, a survivor, a fighter. And she was ready. The sky wasn't just a battlefield, it was Elena's home. She'd flown through storms, outwitted raptors, and defied Nexus. But the world of secrets was a labyrinth, and Amara's key was only one piece. Sparrow's message hinted at more. Another mission, another truth. Elena boarded a new jet, a Learjet this time, its engines a familiar hum. Marcus wasn't with her. He'd opted for a quieter life, his scars a reminder of battles won. The new co-pilot, a young woman named Zara, was XRAF, her eyes bright with ambition. Ready for this? Elena asked. Zara grinned. Born ready. The mission was vague: retrieve a defector in Oslo, someone tied to Amara's network. Elena didn't trust the brief, but she trusted her instincts. Oslo's skies were clear, but the ground was a tangle of threats. The defector, a hacker named Tor, had data on Nexus's buyers. Elena landed at a private airstrip, Tor waiting in a battered car. He was young, twitchy, his backpack heavy with drives. You're late, he said, climbing aboard. You're alive, Elena replied, taxiing for takeoff. The radar pinged drones, unmarked, closing fast. Nexus, Tor muttered, his face pale. Elena climbed steeply, the Learjet shaking. Sparrow, you out there? She radioed. His MiG appeared, weaving through the drones, giving her a window. Go, he said. I'll handle them. Elena didn't argue, pushing the jet toward Stockholm. The safe house was a warehouse, its walls lined with servers. Tor uploaded his data, revealing Nexus's web corporations, governments, mercenaries, all bidding for Amara's legacy. Elena's blood ran cold. This wasn't just a key, it was a weapon, and Nexus was selling it piece by piece. Lila joined them, her face grim. We need to expose them, she said. Publicly. Elena nodded, but exposure meant risk, her face, her name, her life. She didn't care. Nexus had to fall. The plan was audacious: hack a global news network, broadcast the truth. Tor worked feverishly, his fingers a blur. Elena and Lila stood guard, the warehouse a fortress under siege. Nexus's mercenaries breached the perimeter, gunfire echoing. Elena fought back, her training kicking in, every move precise. Lila took a hit, her arm bleeding, but she kept fighting. Finish it, she hissed. Tor uploaded the data, the broadcast going live, Nexus's secrets exposed to the world. The mercenaries retreated, their operation burned. Elena flew Tor and Lila to a safe house in Finland, the Learjet low over the Baltic. Amara was there, her resolve hardened. You've done more than I could ask, she said. Elena shrugged, her shoulder still aching from Berlin. Someone had to. The sky was clear, but Elena knew the shadows weren't gone. Nexus was wounded, not dead. Sparrow's MiG shadowed them, a silent guardian. You're racking up debts, he radioed. Elena laughed, the first time in days. Send me the bill. In London, Elena stood on her balcony, the city a tapestry of light and shadow. The broadcast had shaken the world, Nexus's stock plummeted, governments scrambled, Amara's key was neutralized. But Elena was no hero, just a pilot who'd flown too close to the sun. A new message came: the game's not over. Control? Elena didn't crush this phone. She tucked it away, her eyes on the sky. The next flight was coming, and she'd be ready always.